More questions?
I have one. How long did it take you to transition from ordinary running to shoeless running?
You know, really quick, but I'm not the best test case because I went about exactly the opposite of the way you should. I made the mistake of listening to people who don't know what they're talking about. So what happened was I was taught you needed to be trained and taught and keep your shoes on. So I had the benefit of having people teach me like pose and chi, and they taught me this great method of running. The only problem with it was all here and it wasn't here. So every time I went running, I had this sort of whole diagnostic thing, like is my back straight, this and this. And it wasn't natural, it was learned. And then when I was wearing the shoes again, and I got forgetful, I regressed to my old form. Then when I got rid of the shoes, I transitioned in like 3 days. The first day I was a little bit tentative. The next day I was feeling okay. By the third day I was out doing 5 miles on asphalt.
Your Achilles didn't complain at all?
Yeah, they're a little bit sore, but when they're sore, you just take a day off. It's just like doing push-ups for the first time. Maybe 50 is too much. Take a day off and go out and try again. But it's the easiest thing in the world to learn. We did a little session last night, trained people in like 10 minutes. It takes barefoot Ted 4 hours to train people, but 3 hours and 50 minutes of that.
Do you get any like backlash in the medical community? Any doctors who like, I don't know, anyone saying biomechanically it's awful for you or it's going to hurt you?
You know, I keep hearing this stuff over and over. I said, wait, when's somebody going to challenge these people? WNBC, a news channel in New York, just did a report, a video report, where they interviewed me, and then they interviewed this podiatrist, and this guy keeps getting away with the same old crap. He says, okay, a small percentage of the people this is okay for. Like, number one, I am the person you said it's not okay for, you know, and I'm okay. Secondly, where is this coming from? Show me one study that indicates that running in your bare feet is worse than running in shoes. Do you know there's never been a study ever that indicates that running shoes do anything to prevent injuries? Nothing. For 30, almost 40 years now, there's zero evidence these things do a damn thing. There's zero evidence that pronation is even bad for you.
That was the most interesting thing. I was born and raised in Eugene, Oregon.
Yeah.
The home of Nike.
Yeah.
You know, Tracktown, USA. And that was what was so interesting to me was all the studies that you cite that say that once Bowerman, you know, started using that waffle iron, that injuries just skyrocketed.
Right.
And the way that Jesse Owens ran and those guys didn't deal with plantar fasciitis. They didn't deal with any of this stuff. But it's the modern day running shoe that has, you know, been a boon for doctors and for all these folks. And all we have to do is learn how to run properly.
You know, I hate to be like a conspiracy theorist and assume that there's a sort of secret cabal, a secret brotherhood out there like, let's not tell anybody, you know, and these shoes. But I think they sincerely believe this thing, and most of us do. It seems to make sense. Hey, it's cushioning, it's soft, it's got to be better for you.
Right.
What bothers me is that now the evidence is becoming more and more irrefutable, and they just refuse to back off their position. And again, that's all I like to say. You know, if everybody just started from the same ground zero, if everyone learned how to run properly, then choose whatever shoe you want to wear. You want to wear a thick shoe, fine. But the thing is, learn how to land first. And I mean, running biomechanics, if you just think about it logically, you know, what looks like a safer position for your leg to be in? Does that look safe, or does this look safe? You know, that is a horrible position. Your knee is hyperextended, it's extremely vulnerable. You're landing on a bony part of your foot. You're transmitting shock all the way up your leg. That leg is now balancing your entire body weight. It's a braking motion, which is stopping your forward momentum. And on top of that, if you want to change your mind and go somewhere else, you can't, because you're stuck in this position. You're on the ball of your foot. Suddenly you can absorb shock, you can twist, you can move. And when that knee moves, instead of being hyperextended, it's flexing backwards. I'm convinced that if people ran their forefoot, this whole thing about runner's knee would just vanish.
How do you deal with running downhill, steep downhill? So you land on the forefoot and you take...
The only thing I do differently is I sort of sink into the hill a little bit more. Kind of like skiing moguls. As I'm coming downhill, I tend to bend my knees more and sort of sit more. But we were on a really steep hill last night, and we're just sort of whipping on down. But this dude's the master. This guy up and down hills.
Fall forward.
And just whip that leg around and catch up.
Yeah, just fall forward. Go with gravity. Don't fight it.
Yeah, don't put the brakes on.
Rest, and make time at the same time.
What do you run in? Do you run in anything?
No, I run in high-tech Scirocco sandals. Is my favorite hoof wear.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wear whatever is cheap, light, and easy, light, and smooth.
Yeah. Or free, right?
Or free. Occasionally but I wore these when I stepped on a torture device entering Phoenix Mountain Parks the other day, and you know, one of those tire puncturing things,
And if I was wearing sandals or barefoot or whatever, I wouldn't have made this mistake. I would have been more focused. So what running in the more minimal light attire does for me is it gets me more focused on the present and on the trail. I was wearing shoes, I didn't pay attention, and one of those hooks that punctures the tire punctured my foot.
Ouch.
And I've got 8 stitches in my foot. So
How many?
8
Ooh.
on my big toe. So I'm not running, so I went steer crazy and shaved my head.
Like a convict.
When is your 100?
The Javelina 100's coming up on Halloween.
Oh, boy.